I guess from a player's perspective, how are you guys feeling after the weekend?
We feel united in the approach to what we've got to achieve. Like, we're really bitterly disappointed with what we served up on the weekend, and borderline embarrassment from the 22 that played. But we're not individualising; we're in it together. The beauty of this game is you get another chance to rectify it pretty quickly, and we'll find out pretty smartly who wants to buy into it and who wants to be part of the solution.
I guess you're going to get the critics after a loss like that. What have you made of speculation about Rodney and criticism of Gary Ablett's contribution?
I see it as white noise, to be honest. As I said before, and Mark Evans, the language he used yesterday was it's a unified problem, and we all bought into that, and we want a unified solution. And I think you get a bit defensive when you see one person or two people you've alluded to bear the brunt of it when it's a holistic problem. And for Gary, 7 days ago he was voted, I think, runner-up in the Marcus Ashcroft medal, and he's been a great player for a long time for this club. And people out there are looking for a scapegoat, and you really feel for Gary in that aspect that he's wearing the brunt of it. And it happens every time this year. There's coaches that will get externally put under the pump, but as a playing group, we're right in behind Rocket. And I think this weekend it's business as usual. This week it's business as usual. Rocket, strong character, and he's a proud Gold Coast Sun person, and if everyone jumps in behind that kind of mindset, there'll be a much better output this week.
People see your players' performance as an extension of your coach, and people talk about playing for the coach. Is that how you guys see it as well? So your performance is an extension of the coach, or that's the way it's perceived. Is that fair, or and how do you feel about Rocket? Are you playing for him? That's sort of a question that's been thrown up.
I think
after Saturday.
Well, definitely it's disappointing that it's gone on to Rocket and, as you said earlier, Gary, but it's a collective problem that we dished up on the weekend. It's not going to be one person who turns around, it's going to be the 22 and extend on the squad and the coaching staff. So we all need to stand up, and every player that's lucky enough to pull on the Gold Coast jersey on the weekend needs to stand up and bring that effort that is required.
The criticism of Gary over the weekend was that he looked disinterested out there, and I guess that comes on the back of news that he tried to get a trade to Geelong over summer. You two are playing with him. Did you think he was interested in the game and trying as hard as he could?
Absolutely. I think we all know Gary is a very competitive person, and to say he's disinterested is pretty disrespectful, I think, towards a champion like Gary. So it was a tough game on the weekend, and I know some media can pick up little snippets of a game which they think can potentially show a picture, but I don't think that's couldn't be further from the truth. Gary's hurting as much as anyone, and I think as a collective we need to stand together and unite and play good, solid, hard footy this weekend.
How would this criticism sit with him, Tom? You played with him for 6 years, 6 and a bit years. How do you think this would sit with him?
I think all along the journey, Gary's been the forefront of the club, and he's been captain of the club and performed really strongly. And I think over the journey he's had criticism, which obviously would sting him, but I think it just spurs him on. And as Mick said earlier, a week earlier he was second best on ground against Brisbane, and to say he's disinterested on the weekends couldn't be further from the group. So I'm sure he'll bounce back, but I don't think it's Gary alone. It's a 22. Gary's not going to fix the problem, and Gary isn't the problem at all. So I think it's a collective that 22 that's going to walk out on the weekend.
Do you feel like he wants to play for the Suns this season?
Absolutely.
You're talking about the collective responsibility. Collectively, what went so wrong at the weekend? So far, best performance.
Yeah, it was a really poor performance. Clearly, like it's as I said before, being out there and being a part of it, it's embarrassing because we had a really good summer, and we probably started to believe some of the hype that was surrounding us, and we'll let ourselves. We had a really good JLT season, but it really counts for nothing by the time you get to the season proper. But I can rest assured it's burning really significantly. I mean, pretty much straight after the game, there was a show of hands of who wanted to get to this Sunday now, really. So.
But is it work rate? Is it like what is it that meant?
I think we were really poor in the contest. GWS really showed us up with their intensity around the contest, their willingness to work offensively and defensively, and we've reviewed a lot of that stuff. But a lot of the stuff we're reviewing isn't talent based. We acknowledge we didn't our output in the contest and working one end to the other was at a really low end, and for me, having a good reflection on the game and a good think about it, and as I said, we've had a really good summer, but sometimes it doesn't count for the attitude or the mindset for that 2 hours on game day to be able to implement it, and it's happened. We've acknowledged it. We'll review it really hardly and be really honest with each other, which we have been, move forward this way.
You mentioned the mindset, criticism is mental toughness. Do you think it sort of comes down to that mental toughness?
I think across the group we have shown in the past that we will dig in, and obviously on the weekend we're very disappointed with the result, and as Mick said, we've reviewed it. We've had some strong conversations about where we've got to improve, and obviously it's pretty evident. So, but I think the exciting thing is it's round 2. The good thing about this game, we get to run it out against Hawthorn on Sunday. We can turn it around, and we've got 20 games left of the year, so I don't think there should be massive cause for panic. Obviously it's very disappointing, but I think the good thing about this game, we get to turn around this Sunday.
Yeah, and we get to find out who wants to play, who wants to be a Gold Coast Sun. We're on a national stage. There's been a lot of criticism of us this week, and there's 2 ways we can go from here, and we're not shying away from the fact that it was really disappointing. We really want to galvanise and go in the right direction, and it comes back to a mindset and application of training. That unity we really built. I've only been here for 3 or 4 months, but from all my understandings, the last 2 years in the growth in the unity of the group, the collectiveness of the group, clearly not perfect, but we really want to keep trending in that direction. And if we look at the weekend as a bump in the road, we can start to rectify some of those disappointments.
Rodney had said after the match that you're a really quiet group of players. Were there enough guys out on the field when things started to go wrong that were, I guess, loud and supporting teammates and trying to turn the tide?
As a leadership group, we let ourselves down on Saturday. Rocket alluded to the fact that we're a pretty introverted group, but in saying that, it's as ruthless an industry as you'll experience professional sport and competitive sport. And it's probably back to my point before, we're going to find out a lot about individuals and this team as a collective in the wake of this criticism, and that starts right at the top. Tom and Stephen put their hands up for probably not leading as well as they could have, and then the rest of the leadership group in behind them, myself, Matt Rosa, Dave Swallow's probably one that puts it all into perspective, coming back 2 years out and being as competitive and hard, and he showed really what it means to be a Gold Coast Sun. You get a bit emotional about it, knowing Dave like we do, that he's waited so long to get back out there, and it's not a privilege to play AFL football. It's not a right. You have to work and you have to go through the systems and do everything right, and you still got no guarantee that you're going to get a game. So you probably hear it in our voices at the moment how much it's burning, and there's going to be guys that are probably going to not get the opportunity this week on the back of a few bad performances, but the blokes that do, whether they're coming up or getting another crack at it, it's going to mean something.
Swallow is your silver lining?
Yeah, definitely. I think Dave showed on the weekend what it's like to be, how much it burnt from him being out for 2 years, and everything that been questioned of us on the weekend. Dave Swallow can put his hand up and say he wasn't that at all. So it's great to have Dave back, and we're really happy to pull on the jumper alongside him.
I'm sure you guys would have reviewed last week, like your poor start against Brisbane, which ultimately probably cost you the game, but then you went out on Saturday and probably dished up a similar first quarter. What was going to change this week, or why do you think?
Yeah, from kind of a technical, strategic point of view, we were really poor centre square bounce across the 4 quarters against GWS. So that puts us on the back foot immediately, not getting good ground position and putting our defenders under a lot of pressure and not giving our forwards any opportunity. That was pretty much the GWS synopsis. And the start against Brisbane, we were really good in the centre square for the majority of the night, but the first 15-20 minutes we just couldn't get any ground position or any ball inside our 50 as a result of our poor centre square stuff. So Dean Solomon, Matt Primus, who really own that area as line coaches, and the midfield group, which I'm involved in, take a lot of responsibility and look for solutions rather than dwelling on it. So
how do you deal with that pressure now that comes to perform better than the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I don't think you can lump too much pressure on yourself, to be honest. I think that as an individual, it kind of intensifies a lot when you're maybe away from the club doing your recovery and that kind of stuff. But when you kind of get into work and you're here with the rest of the group and you're going through your meetings and you're training and your weights and all that kind of stuff, you're making progress. And I think that pressure can subside a lot because we've got the resources to cope with it, and we're not performing open heart surgery or anything. We're doing what we know to do, what we know how to do very well. So we've got to back ourselves in and trust the process, trust all that's around us, and get stuck back into it.
Tom, you've probably got bigger things to worry about, obviously, at the moment from the team perspective. But Jake O'Meara comes back and plays this weekend. I know the club was disappointed to lose him. What sort of reception do you expect that you guys will give him on Sunday?
Oh, to be honest, I think we've focused on ourselves yesterday. Obviously, we'll go through their key personnel, and Jagger did leave the club, so we're going to come out hard, and he's a good player, so we're going to have to put some time working to him. He played a good game last week, so we'll work out how we're best to play him, but I think at the moment we've got to focus on ourselves first, get that right before worrying too much about the opposition.
You've personally been a little bit, or have looked a little frustrated at times with attention from defenders. Have you been thinking about how you deal with that, if you push up the field more, or come up with strategies to deal with that attention you get?
I think every week I look at who I'm most likely opponent and what's the best way to try and beat them, and so I think not too much changes week to week for me. I've got to work hard and get up and down the ground, so I'll go to work on whoever it is this week for Orly, or so I don't think it'll change too much.